lanes. Like OD
Agreed.
is a little bit slower coming out of the gates. So you definitely need at least that first item, like get that force staff, get that hurricane pike. If you are involved in a lot of action, like usually something like a Shadow Fiend is usually a bit more up those kind of drafts alley. But still for Stony Brook, they will have this kind of pseudo frontliner for the Undying. Like I'm looking at OD, Bane, Jakiro. Like these heroes aren't completely soft. In fact, Bane and Jakiro are pretty tanky. But if they're ever in melee range with opposition, especially Nyx Assassin, Brewmaster opposition, things get really difficult. So I think for Texas, this Nyx Assassin seems like an all-star pick, just all around. Like absolutely great with the Rubik, is great matchup against the OD.
Yeah, I think the Nyx is a good pickup. It's really good against the Jakiro too, because Jakiro puts down all the AoE abilities and you can stun him for a long duration, setting up for a really easy Nyx stun. You can just carapace basically any one of his spells, and that's gonna work. You can carapace the Fiend's Grip, so if Bane can't Fiend's Grip you. Undying, he's obviously gonna be spamming out his decays. So the Nyx Assassin as a disabler in this game is gonna function really, really nicely. And like you said, yeah, countering the OD. I mean, OD late game versus Nyx, it's hugely Nyx favor. I mean, OD has obviously one of the highest int gains in the game, and also he heals the intelligence. So if you get up to that Agnum Scepter on the Nyx Assassin and you just mana burn him from super far away, and if you hit a couple stuns on him, one mana burn, one stun with that level, I believe it's level 20 talent with 175 plus damage, you can take OD down to, I don't know, 40% HP with one mana burn and one stun. Pretty ludicrous. And this is a hero that needs to be, he intends to go into the late game. He intends to be that kind of late game powerhouse who's one hitting everybody. But Nyx Assassin really does shut that down nicely, which is, I think that's a big reason we've seen OD get picked up a lot more recently, is because Nyx hasn't been really a first round pick like it has been for the past, 3 to 4 months. Like it started falling off, so people start picking OD again because the Nyx is no longer there as a counter. People don't pick Pugna anymore as a counter either. So I think OD is a good pick, but Nyx is a great response.
Magna actually seems pretty decent here. Like, of course, not picked up just yet. Is available though, so wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Lycan?
Texas picking up a Phantom Lancer as their fourth, going to give them a little bit of scalability as well. Definitely seems like a hero that can be abused. Stony Brook looking to go, seemingly looking to go a little bit aggressive early on, and PL up against these heroes that could just bully him out of lane. Seems like it could lead to some pretty interesting matchups for the PL, none of which are particularly great for him, but you are going to be going up against an OD, getting that mana burn in general up against these heroes for Stony Brook. Does seem fairly powerful. I'm not really sure if I like this Dire draft so far. I feel like it's pulling in two very, very different directions.
Is Dire the bottom or the top? It's always
Dire's bottom, yeah.
Dire's bottom. Okay, so it has the Dire background. I remember it's like flipped with the map. All right, so yeah, I mean really it's all riding on this presumably dual off lane with Undying Jakiro. I think if they can get a lot done there, then the issues in their draft of having the Nyx Assassin to counter all of these heroes. I mean, it's not really going to matter if you get such a huge laning advantage. I think it's possible against the Phantom Lancer. I mean, the Phantom Lancer is not a hero who does very well against magical damage. Of course, you can purge the Jakiro slows by using your doppelganger, but I think that with the Undying there and constantly taking his HP down, PL's a survivable safe laner because he can escape with a doppelganger and because his armor is so high, he's so hard to kill because he's huge agi gain hero. So I do feel like they could potentially get a lot done in this aggro dual lane, but I think if it doesn't go well, it's going to be very, very difficult because, like you were saying with the OD, there's that hump that you have to get over where you get the force staff and things like that. So OD is naturally not going to participate in those early game kind of skirmishes until he gets those items. That's just how OD functions naturally. But going into that late game, if they don't scale nicely out of the laning phase, they're up against a Nyx Assassin with the OD. I mean, that's a hard counter right there. So, I mean, they still have one pick left to go, though. They could pick something a complete counter. Were you saying Lycan? You wanted to pick Lycan? I think Lycan against Sniper is, like, insanely good.
I didn't say it,
Oh,
but
okay.
I totally meant to because
Oh,
that's a good idea.
I see.
Yeah, so I was going to say it, but you just said it first.
The only thing is Brewmaster is pretty good at putting the mischance on and causing the Lycan to not be very capable of lasting in that laning phase. But you have supports. But the thing is, there is an aggro dual lane. So okay, so they go with the DK. So presumably that's gonna be an OD safe lane, DK mid against. I don't know how that does against Sniper actually. I would think that's pretty Sniper favored, especially with ganks.
Yeah, I would think that too, but like every single time I think a mid lane
Oh yeah.
is like disadvantageous for DK, I'm always wrong.
Now,
So I just assume that like every single lane now for DK is even. Like at worst for DK is even. Like, I'm sure there are lanes where he just gets absolutely dumpstered, but like I haven't ever, at least not in the not in the mid capacity. So I was thinking something a little more like CK for Stony Brook, just trying to get a little bit early
oh,
fighty type of style. You're going up against a sniper with really no gap closer,
right, right.
and they still don't really have a gap closer. Like Shadowblade DK, maybe like Force Staff OD. Those aren't really like real tools. So. Regardless, what's done is done. The DK picked up is going to give them a little bit more of a kind of snowbally reward here for this early game, but still DK may like be able to survive it. I'm not really sure if Stony Brook in general have enough to really punish Team Texas for having a kind of a slower early game than Stony Brook have.
Yeah.
The payoff just isn't really there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think once again a lot is going to be riding on this aggro dual lane. If they can have a really good aggro dual lane, draw a lot of pressure there. The DK can run around getting towers. They have Jakiro for towers. Basically the OD is the hard carry in this game. They're not going to really. I mean, they'll probably fight with him because why not? But I mean, actually, I think he's literally going into the safe lane. But basically, what I'm saying is that you have this OD, and he's going to function as your complete hard carry in this game. Everybody else is going to 4-man and just whack towers because, good God, do they have a lot of tower hitting with the DK, with the Undying Tombstone. That's great for 5-manning. Bane maybe not so much the greatest for 5-manning. Obviously not bad. More so he's great at winning the laning phase, and then Jakiro's great at 5-manning. So I think that if they can get past this aggro dual lane without feeding, then they're going to have they have a decent chance at shutting down the early game. However, I do agree with you that I think that if this aggro dual lane doesn't go well, then you're dealing with a brew sniper PL. If these heroes are given space, they're going to tear through you in the mid game, and that's just the question: will they be given space in the game? So let's see, what are the lanes shaping up to be? Brew
And just for the
top.
record, you mean space, both in the farming department area and also like sniper as in physical space. If you give him just space in these fights, he will absolutely annihilate you.
Right, right. Yeah, which can be provided to you by securing that early farm because you get items, on heroes they can kind of peel for the sniper, things like that. Yeah, space is a weird term because it's kind of used for a lot of things in Dota. Like there's farming space, there's like map positioning space, there's the literal space on the map.
We just need to coin a specific term.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Jakiro offlane versus. Oh, okay, so it is Jakiro Undying dual offlane, and it looks like they're actually doing a lot of work on this PL in the bottom lane already. He might be able to pick up this kill actually if he can. No, he's not gonna dive. Well,
small taste of this bottom lane. PL right now is by himself. I don't think Rubik being here is really going to significantly change things for the PL. This is like the best chance, I think, for Stony Brook here to get some huge discernible edge in this game because PL really, he can't fist fight an Undying. Really, no one can.
no.
And I mean, add Liquid Fire on top of that with the dual breath as well. Like, it's absolutely miserable. But at the same time, like top lane Texas, they have a lane that's pretty difficult to move as well.
oh, look at this! They're just doing the Undying as
Huh.
a solo offlaner, and Jakiro TP top, so it's actually Undying core. So as you're saying that, it looks like Stony Brook is actually responding to the dual offlane by just throwing 3 people up there. And it's OD too. I feel like OD is going to get pretty good farm in the safe lane no matter what. Because I mean that is a cancer hero to deal with in the safe lane. You give him a couple of levels. You give him an inch, he basically takes a mile. Although the brew with the haze is going to be pretty nice at stopping him from blasting a little bit.
So the probably more subtle effect in this lane, we usually don't see ODs in the safe lane in a full tri lane because the hero usually just needs experience as much as he can get. But if you do pick up a little bit of essence aura with a hero like Jakiro, with a hero like Bane, like their spam of spells, if they get a little bit of a mana refund there, can be absolutely ridiculous. So
Oh damn! I didn't think about that actually.
it's
That's
a
gotta be
little bit
insane.
RNG based, of course, but you get a dual breath refund, you're feeling pretty good.
Dude, that's got to be insane. I mean, these are spammy heroes. That's got to be intentional. I mean, they first phased these 2 heroes.
And of course, like as soon as we say that, they're just not in the lane at
Yeah, they got to pull.
so we
They
can't
kind of
see
screwed
it.
up the equilibrium. Which
I
happens.
rest assured though they will, I'm sure, get value out of this essence aura, because
Yeah.
otherwise it would be very disappointing for all of us. But overall though, Dire, they got some CS going right now. The mid lane for the sniper, like he's struggling a little bit up against this DK, who has Quelling Blade, and sniper is notoriously bad in the early damage department. So he's actually doing a really good job right now, DK.
Yeah, well, once again, there's another one of those situations where you're like, oh, I think Sniper wins that, and then DK's just like destroying him. I mean, this hero, man, it's just the fact that he can't really be harassed out of the lane like a typical melee hero can. And with that Quelling Blade, I mean, it's almost better to be a melee hero that can't be harassed out of lane with a Quelling Blade than it is to be a ranged hero, in Dota right now. Because, geez, that Quelling Blade damage in the early game, that's insane. Plus 24 damage, that's like half your damage in the early game.
Of course, is catapulting him towards that Soul Ring, so he'll have even more damage differential with that Breathe Fire spam. This lane is looking pretty slippery, actually, for Texas, and I'm not really sure what they could do to help out here. Like, Sniper isn't supposed to need help, at least not in this matchup.
Yeah, he's typically the hero that you're pretty comfortable leaving him alone because, well, he's pretty hard to gank just because he stands so far away, and then also, with his just amazing auto attack animation, it's very, very hard to contest him in the lane. But DK's doing an incredible job. Oh shoot,
he was just all the way up the lane. Like, he was actually just right next to the dire tier 1, and they just chased that guy all the way down. There's no boots on this PL. There are boots on the Undying and the Jakiro, and again, the PL, he actually doesn't have any doppelganger. I mean, I'm not really sure if that really would have changed things, but yeah, it does seem like this is a lane where PL's just not going to have all that much fun. He's on par with the offlane Undying's farm, but that's not exactly impressive.
I mean, this net worth chart is looking pretty telling right now. We have 4 heroes. I mean, it is 4 minutes into the game, obviously, but when you have a support pulling ahead of the enemy safe laner, that's kind of scary. That's pretty scary territory. And the DK is just destroying in this game. I mean, the Sniper has half his net worth at 4 minutes. That is some crazy. And I think the DK actually has some decent kill potential on the Sniper too, if he can get up that Dragon form. In bottom lane, PL looks like he could be dead again.
That ice path was a little bit off from
Gotta solve.
OJVK. That's some name. He'll just walk out now that Doppelganger finally is up. He also has that wand. Not really a terribly threatening situation there. He'll chug a salve, but still this -8 from that decay, which Undying has a couple more of in his pocket since he has that magic stick, means Dead Zone can't really get on top of the creep wave safely. So, I mean, they don't get the kill there on the PL, but, I mean, having a PL in this area doesn't really help the Radiant at all, so it's almost as like they did get the kill.
They're completely stopping him from farming, so like you said, it's fairly equivalent, honestly. Although one good thing about laning gets an Undying is that those wand charges and the salves, like, they're much more effective because you get the strength back once the decay wears off, and you get a percentage of what your HP is. So, it's actually pretty nice to have regen items against the Undying. You can definitely use it to your advantage, baiting with wand charges and things like that. But still, this PL is not actually. He's doing a little bit better. He's got a big wave coming into them. It looks like the Undying Jakiro kind of pushed the wave into him, trying to harass him a bit, and it's actually giving him a nice amount of farm under his tower right now. But he's pretty happy with that.
All the supports from the Radiant side on this bottom lane, and like they have to kind of make something happen here. They'll find an angle onto Jakiro. Ice Path does land on 3. Gets Soul Ripped as well, and Shu now with the Tombstone on the deck is going to start pushing everyone back. The Rubik especially is going to stand still, focus down the Tombstone, so he gets rid of that, but he's losing a lot of health in the process. One more decay will get the kill. They may lose the Jakiro here, probably will to Dead Zone, and yeah, the Jakiro will be the trade, but for this 3v2 lane, I'd imagine it's still pretty okay here for this Undying Jakiro to be making these exchanges. They're occupying a lot of attention of the Radiant side.
Yeah, oh, Sniper getting gone on by DK. He's got DD. Uh-oh.
Breathe Fire. I think he's just dead to Breathe Fire. And, oh, Rubik actually stuck landing? Well, he's still going to be fine. But, so yeah, DK level 7 now, has the Breathe Fire maxed out. Is this lane just, like, a gigantic dead zone for Texas? Like, what could they actually do here?
Honestly, I do feel like Sniper can pretty safely lane here once the DK has pushed in the wave. I mean, it's just the fact that DK had a DD rune and got up on top of the Sniper. I mean, it's very unfortunate for the Sniper there, but I think... Oh, he's gonna die again to this DD? Oh, no, there's a Rubik there. All right.
Well, DK is DK. He only has 1 point in the blood, so he is not as tanky as possible. And they have the assassinate, surely. Stick Charge is gonna save him, actually. +3 armor, another dragon coming to help out. They look after their own, of course, and DK walked out of there. Oh man, I mean, yeah, they didn't get the kill, but also that feels bad, man.
Yeah, that would have been such a huge turnaround. I mean, DK is sitting at the highest net worth right now. Not just the highest net worth, He's got 1,000 gold above the
Undying.
OD, who's free farming top.
I think the Undying on bottom lane. The nice little pickup. But yeah, as you said, like the DK, like everyone on the side lanes could die. The supports can die, but I mean, DK is the one who has to be really addressed here. He's gonna go for that Shadow Blade build, and once he has that, man, the assassination power off the charts. Got top lane, Brewmaster getting quite a couple dodges there, so he'll be just fine. But still, this isn't any picnic for the Brewmaster either.
You know, I actually kind of want to make a prediction here. I feel like this is going to be in favor of University of Texas, just because, ooh, as the sniper's getting really low in the middle lane, but I think that the DK getting huge is okay because you have the Brew to throw him up in the fights, and then with the OD, you have the Nyx Assassin counter for the fights. And then PL getting huge in the bottom lane, shutting down the Undying. Well, there's not really much of a counter for him if, if these other two heroes are dealt with. I actually feel like if they take some mid-game fights and the lanes are going like they are right now and the PL actually isn't just feeding in this bottom lane, things are going to go pretty okay with them as long as they get the split off, they lift the DK, and the Nyx can adequately deal with the OD and get some levels. I actually think that this is looking pretty okay for University of Texas, just based on the composition of heroes that they have.
I think we were both pretty high on the Radiance draft. We both liked it, just in general better than the Dire. So they still have yet to really hit their stride. Like, I mean, Brewmaster's not even level 6 yet, so you at least need that before Brewmaster's really going to get going. But we do have a DK roaming in towards bottom lane. Rubik does cut through the trees. They still see him, though, for the Dragon Tail, and now the Tombstone and the Ice Path. Rubik, you are super dead. The PL does have, Doppelgang does have some stick charges, but there is a lot of fat here on this bottom lane, dead zoned. He's gonna Doppelgang out, and it looks like he's, thrown on the left side. Does still get hit with that Frost effect of the Dual Breath. Impale does land onto 2, but there is another Dragon Tail and another Ice Path. Phantom Lancer. He's gonna throw out a lance, but he's taking a lot of damage here, and he will stick up, but he'll still die. Thought for sure that Magic Wand would save him, and now, well, the Rubik shows up again. He does snipe the Tombstone, so he gets a little bit of something for this rotation towards bottom, but it's probably gonna cost him his life as well. DK, one rotation gets 3. No, can't possibly be another. It's Nyx Assassin. There's not enough gas in the tank there for the Dire, but man, that is a successful DK rotation. Get a whole bucket load of kills and probably have this tower locked up as well.
Yeah, well, maybe I should take back what I said about this PL getting huge. You know, that rotation, although actually they're going the DK. I don't know if they can kill him. He's really, really tanky.
The Ice Path does lock down Erotic Chopsticks, and look at the Dual Breath damage with the decay. One more Dual Breath is out. Nyx Assassin actually isn't going to tick down to that at all. He's going to be just fine. But the Dragon Knight, I don't know how he ended up at, like, actual full HP. He had a regen or a full bottle or something. The Brewmaster's now going to rotate down. Does have the split, but you really don't want to be splitting to try to kill off a DK. Like, you just don't do much damage up against this armor. Kind of same case, Jakiro and Undying. These heroes are bulky as hell, so they do rotate everyone and their mom down, and the tower does get picked up. That is a huge win for the Dire side.
Yeah, that is really bad for University of Texas. You do not want to rotate a core out of the lane to defend a tower, which is basically dead, without getting any kills or a tower in return. I mean, that is just a straight up win for the Dire side. I mean, that's just that just hurts Brew's game so much, and even worse, it makes OD's game so easy. He's completely free from in the top lane and pushing with a siege wave right now, so they might get 2 towers for that, not just 1. That's the price of a core rotation right there.
On the other end, we have the DK, of course. That was successful to say the least. He's got about half of that Shadow Blade at the ready. Nyx Assassin is working with some invisibility of his own, did pick up the level 6, and there are currently no sentries in the area here. Not sure if they know the level of the Nyx Assassin. May have had that hidden. But Erotic Chopsticks, I mean, you're looking at... Look at how tanky these heroes are. Like, Undying has 1,000,000 strength, and you can get more. Jakiro and Bane are some of the tankiest inch heroes in the game. Brewmaster's gonna stumble out here, and they will immediately get to work stunning him, but he will get split out. Macropyre Ice Path still there, not really gonna do them any favors here. Shu is gonna actually heal himself mostly to full. They'll focus down the Bane until the OD comes in and imprisons him. Probably Bane still will go down here, and that's going to be something here for Texas. The Brewmaster starting to chase forward for a little bit more. Does catch the Dragon with the Impale as well. Another Soul Rip will keep him alive. Even through the clap, he'll turn around and annihilate the Rubik, and now focus onto the Brewmaster, who Split has timed out. They'll take him down as well, and the Jakiro also survives. The Assassinate goes onto the OD instead. And that's going to cost Sniper. He made the wrong decision there. Impale And it's not going to save him, it looks like. Oh, that Nightmare might save him, though. That was a little bit of a mistake there from the Bane. Wonder trying to juke through the trees, but that was not the telekinesis they were really looking for. Rubik is back, but they're going to try to focus down onto the DK. That's not going to do much. Now here comes this Eclipse from the OD with the hugest of orb right clicks. Double kill, looking for some more. Dead Zone does have stick into Doppelgang out. There's no more Breathe Fire mana. Looks like he will get just far enough away to not die there, but that is yet another massive win here for the Dire.
Well, this is shaping up to be quite the stomp, and you know, in Dota, there's you can always come back. I mean, that is the #1 rule of Dota. You know, nothing matters. The ancient matters. You can always do something, come back. However, when you're dealing with a push lineup like this, and you're losing all of these early engagements, it looks very, very scary, especially when they don't have a lot of counter push aside from the sniper. I mean, Rubik is okay too, but with the DK form, with a huge amount of pushing that the Dire have, I mean, I think they can just keep running at these towers, gaining a huge amount of map control, and then they're just going to completely outfarm University of Texas in this game.
EL did get a little bit of farm time, did shove top a little bit, but not really to a hugely relevant degree. With these catch items coming up for Stony Brook, it's going to get even harder. It's kind of going to force Texas to stay as a 5-man group, else get picked off. And
right,
we're looking at drums into Rod of Atos here for the OD. Obviously, DK has his bully when it gets out to him, Shadow Blade, so they may be able to catch this Bane out. I don't even know
He's
if
very
they can,
tanky.
Actually. Yeah, I mean, it's a Bane we're talking here.
He's got
Ice
a
Path
grip,
is
too.
way off, but they do have the grip, and Nyx Assassin is dead. And the Panda is in the bubble. He's not looking too hot either. 1 second left till he has that split, and he will be forced to use it. It's going to keep him alive, but can they actually do anything with this? Ice Path can be thrown out, try to give the OD a little bit of space there. They're trying to focus the Bane and the OD. I don't think they can get either, honestly. Gotta watch out for that Earth aspect. He will retreat, and it looks like they'll be fine, but ultimately that's a split down. That means the gates are wide open.
Yeah, that is their one ticket where they can actually take a fight is with that split, because they can lift the DK, who's this huge issue. But without that split, I mean, the DK is just going to roam freely around in the fight. And now he's got a Shadow Blade coming out on the Courier, too, so the pickoff potential is going to be huge. I mean, this is just the unfortunate thing when you're losing the game so heavily to a DK, or to a Jakiro, for that matter, or to an Undying. All of these heroes can just run at your towers, and there's not much that you can do other than fight them. But if you fight them and you lose, guess what you're going to lose? Your barracks. So it's very, very dangerous to... So they know this. They know they can't fight without split, so they literally just go for the split push game. And I think that's exactly how they need to play, unless they have that split available. One thing that I actually just realized is the OD with the aura for these pushes, they have constant decay spam. They have constant dual breath spam. They have all of these spam abilities they can constantly use, and they're gonna have complete free mana. So that's just such a nice addition to this push lineup, with the OD going the early game items.
The lift on the Rubik, that's not going to do him any favors. They will start dropping the DK though, but he does go invis, and it doesn't look like there's actually any detection here from either side, which is a little bit of a mistake. But you know what? That's fine, because the Rock Chops is already down, and the DK out of the Shadow Blade form just shreds the Rubik, and now lands the tail onto the sniper. He has no Force Staff. He's just going to try to run out with the shrapnel covering his retreat. Looks like he'll get out of there. They will find instead the Brewmaster off near the mid lane, actually. Take him down. And now both sides will probably remember that, hey, there's invisibility on the field. You probably get some sentries. Not really sure if that would have mattered, but the pain train stops for no one. The Dire side are going to go straight into this tier 2. Dragon form probably not going to last long enough to get mid lane as well, but I mean, seriously, what's stopping them? Like, there's not much of a fight here from Texas.
Yeah, they have a Siege Wave as well, so... Without the Dragon form, I think it's still okay to push this because, you know, they have the anti-committal tool of the Tombstone available in 20 seconds. So I think they can pretty comfortably take a fight, although split is up. So if there's a time to fight, it's probably now.
Does Doppelgang to the south? I don't really know if going headlong into this many engagements is really how Texas wins. Seems like they need to kind of have a hero in a side lane. They also need Nyx Assassin to not die here. That would be great if that can happen. Someone has to be getting farm elsewhere from Texas. Right now, they're all just sitting in mid and losing heroes and losing fights. So this is not how they win. They need to send PL or Sniper to one of these side lanes.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it where you just feel like for a single tier 1 at the speed that PL pushes in the side lane, they're going to lose 3 towers. So I can definitely understand the urge, the impulse to try and defend these towers. Although I think you're definitely right. I think that it's gotten to the point where there's absolutely no way they can fight, even with the split. They need to pick up some items, because the thing is, if you're 5-manning like this, sure, you're getting towers. In Dota, you eventually get towers anyway, though. So, oh, this Nyx assassin's actually getting.
Yeah, he's called the Ice Path. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that orb. They do get the split out as well. Oh, I mean, yeah, they take a tombstone. That cooldown's not nothing, but you split like this, you gotta get something. So far, they've only had losses off of this split. They won't lose the Brewmaster. His Earth aspect is going to treat. Oh, but they do ace the sniper. Oh, he's in the macro fire. So much fire. Dripped up as well. Even the Rubik taking a lot of just random AoE damage there. So they now have absolutely no tools to defend this. Elder Dragon
I was gonna
form,
say they can go Roche, but without Sniper, they can't defend Barracks from this DK form.
Oh, another Atos grab. Frankie Best, dude, he like just picked up Atos and then just kill. Everyone's dead. I mean, get all these catch items, catch heroes, it's all good, and Ice Path catches a couple. Oh my god. There was an assassin there. Brewmaster, he's going to be a little bit more difficult to cut through, but they have another route. They have a couple more orbs. Yeah, one more kill for the Dream. And then I think we might just be done here, because I can't see Texas getting anything substantial left out of this game.
The thing is, man, they just... God.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
It's rough to see a game like this because, you know, in retrospect, obviously they're going to be thinking, you know, we should have counter pushed this, or we should have split push, counter push, slow them down as much as we can with the sniper, with the Rubik. But I think they committed to the point where they couldn't really do that anymore without losing a bunch. So it's just unfortunate. But although they actually are going to pick up the Jakiro here.
They got the Jakiro, they assassinated the DK, the Nightmare was a little bit off. Ooh, that smoke dodged the assassinate damage. They're going to chase forward with the Vendetta movement speed of the Nyx Assassin, blow the smoke, and maybe we'll be able to catch up to the Bane. Yeah, can't miss now unless you get Nightmare.
Nice.
Rubik has to pull it off. Nope, he's going for it, man, but telekinesis cast range, level 1. Not fun, and now they have to back off. They don't lose racks, at least that's something. They do get the DK, they do get the Jakiro, so a lot of Dragon Heads on the mantle. But now what? They need to start rushing for some of these items. Dragon Lance on Sniper, that's good. Diffusal Blade on the Phantom Lancer, that's incredible. They do need a little bit more, though.
Yeah, they definitely need, like, I honestly think, all right, when you have these heroes, Brewmaster, ridiculous in the late game, especially when you get to that level 25 with that basically permanent primal split. Sniper, one of the best late game carries. He pokes you from super far away, you die. PL, second highest damage carry in the game, next to CK when fully slotted. So they absolutely can win this game, but I think before they can take a fight, a full 5-on-5 engagement against this this dire lineup, they're gonna need at least 1 or 2 more items on the Sniper and the PL. And I think they need a blink on Brew. I don't think Brew needs much. I think he just needs a blink. But I think with the PL, you're gonna need +1 items. Maybe Manta, maybe BKB as well. Scotty, something like that, and then Sniper. He's gonna need some damage, which he's going for the Mjolnir, which I really like, because I think they really do need the damage, and the magical damage is definitely where you want to go for, because you know you're dealing with a bunch of high armor heroes. They're just kind of 5-manning, so that the kind of the shrapnel being down, and then the Mjolnir kind of lightning bolting around. It's there's a lot of chaos that you can throw those little sniper pellets into and cause a lot of damage. So I think this is good, and they've a lot of high armored heroes too. So the Mjolnir damage is going to do a lot. So they definitely have it within their capabilities to bring this back with these heroes. But I mean, it's going to take some really nice execution in these next couple of fights if they do try to fight, because like I said, I think that it's not going to be an even fight until the PL and the Sniper have at least 1 or 2 more items.
Been no real attempts for picks from Texas. Usually if you're looking to defend in this fashion where you know you can't win a heads-up fight, you got to try to find a Bane hero, Jakiro there. A kill may stall the enemies for a minute or 2, and sometimes that's just enough, but unfortunately, Nyx just isn't quite yet at that level. Phantom Lancer, a Sniper, they'd rather just be farming creeps, and Brewmaster, if you're going to do that, you need this Blink Dagger. You kind of also need to use Primal Split in most situations, so that's really expensive. This time, though, they are going to push down mid, Stony Brook. Top lane, Texas are pushing that out with PL, so at least they have that going for them. They're going to fortify their creeps in. Doesn't really do a ton just yet, but the Dragon Knight, his Elder Dragon form, it's going to be timing out shortly, but it was Arcane Rune, so back
Yeah,
off,
so
wait a couple minutes, but
pop it up pretty soon.
this is a
Honestly, I
good time for
do
Dead
feel like
Zone.
Roche is pretty free for the Dire. I think that after this Dragon form is down, they could probably back off and take Roche. Although it looks like they are, you know, it's a tad greedy. This is a, you know, this is kind of what you're hoping for if you're Texas, is that they try to do this and you have the PL split pushing. I really like that this PL is split pushing. He's getting a lot of gold from this, and he's not going to really do much in terms of counter pushing at all. I mean, he just throws a lance here or there, right? If he commits, he commits. He's in. You know, he uses doppelganger, goes in there, runs in. You know, he's basically the fight starts if PL is there. So I like that he was split pushing. So he pushes in the top lane. They're going to need to deal with that. But now he's actually back, so they're looking to fight this. He picked up a drum for this fight, so they are looking to take this fight with that super efficient item.
Oh, they'll root down the sniper. OD, though, gets stun locked on the way in. They've caught the assassin, and they will tear him to shreds. He'll immediately fight back. Tombstone is on the ground, though. It will be cleaned up here. And so far, well, no lasting casualties, though. Shu is going to get left behind a little bit by his allies. Does get a pretty nice decay off of that, but Dragon Knight, yeah, he's kind of lagging a little bit. Does stun up the Rubik, and now OD, Force Staff's back right now from his Hurricane Pike. Does land a really big Eclipse, but he's missing all of these attacks. The grip goes up onto the Brewmaster on the side, but no one's really focusing him. In fact, no one's being focused at all from the Radiant side until they start killing the Nyx Assassin. They'll get onto the off of the Rubik as well. Does have Brain Sap, can turn around, kill off the DK, and they will do just that. The OD kind of low here. The sniper is just picking him apart. Here comes the bullet, headshot from Wonder, from downtown, and you know, maybe we may have spoken a little bit too soon, because in that fight we could see Wonder, literally full HP, was not pressured in the slightest.
Dude, Sniper's peeping. He's going hard with the peeps. Like, oh, I wish we could see how much damage he did in that fight. Where's the combo log at? I mean, he probably did so much damage. That's the sort of fight where you take where you're like, all right, guys, maybe we don't focus the Nyx so much. Maybe we go on the sniper. You know, you always got to focus the sniper. And now he has an item flying out. He's got a Mask of Madness, so he's got even more damage. So those 1 or 2 items that we were talking about, he's got them. I mean, he's got 2 extra items since he's got the Dragonlance, and boy, is he going to do damage in these fights. But the thing is, PL was also being very greedy during that too. He got a lot of split farming done. He got a tier 2 tower on the top lane. He did a little bit of damage to that tier 3 tower on the top lane for the Dire side. For the PL's pretty happy with that scenario as well, and they didn't lose any cores. The Brew didn't die, the PL didn't die, the Sniper didn't die, but almost all of the heroes on the Dire side died. And now there's only a 1k gold net worth lead for the side of the Dire. All it took was a couple of split push attempts with the Sniper peeping. You know, you do the kind of casual counter pushing poke at them. I really think that that's the play style that you want to do with the Sniper. You know, you want to have the Rubik and Sniper just sitting there kind of poking at them, not necessarily committing to a fight, and I think they've realized that. That's why we saw the PL split pushing. That's why we saw that fight go so well, because why just commit? If you just commit, you know that the Dire side is going to do more damage than the health that you have, and you're not going to do more damage than the health that they have. You know, the math just doesn't work. But if you sit there and you poke, and you poke, and you poke, all of a sudden, they're at 60% HP on the Dire side, and now the math does work, and you can chase out. And they did. And, I mean, they literally took a 10k net worth lead and put it down to 2k. And that's with all these towers gone, too.
Of course, the centerpiece of that strategy is that Sniper. And if things go a little bit different, say he gets jacked up by the Shadowblade DK and immediately Dragon-tailed, then we could still see this game end just in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I think that's what they need to do. I think the DK needs to focus the Sniper. In fact, I was going to say that earlier when I saw him go for a Rubik in the fight. You know, when he Shadowbladed behind the top tier 2? And he killed the Rubik. He just blew the Rubik up, but he was right on top of the Sniper, and he didn't go for the Sniper. I think it didn't matter at that point because the Sniper wasn't doing that much damage. But now it's a problem. Now he does need to focus that Sniper because they didn't they didn't shut him down in the early fights. He kind of got a little bit of space just by virtue of not being focused in those early fights. And now the punish is really coming in from Team Texas. This Sniper is a big problem, and you can see that the Dire side, they're playing so much more.
They're
much
scared.
more chill, you know, than they were before. Like they feel the pressure. They feel like they can lose.
And this is exactly what a Sniper wants, is exactly what a PL wants, especially a PL that just picked up Travels. He's pretty much as happy as can be, and of course Sniper's feeling it as well. You did mention earlier when they were pushing the mid lane, and then Wonder's going to get killed off by the OD. But they're not in a position to push, so that's not the end of the world. They decided to push mid instead of going for a Roche. No real attempts from either side to get this Aegis. I
Yeah.
feel like if instead of perhaps kind of banging their heads into that mid lane really slowly, trying to grind that out, just back up, get Roche, and then you could fully commit, like absolutely kind of suicide for that sniper, at least for one hero, then
Yeah.
could be looking
Yeah.
at a much
Exactly.
different game.
That is one big differentiator I see between a lot of these collegiate teams and the tier 1 teams, is that there's a lot more focus on Roche in the tier 1 Dota. I think because they're a lot safer. They're a lot more experienced with throwing games, the dire side, they felt like there's no way that they could lose. And I can understand that, man. I feel that all the time in pubs and competitive. You always get that feeling. I mean, everybody has felt that before in games, and then you throw. You throw a couple of times here and there. Maybe you'll remember, but for a lot of these tier 1 players, they've thrown literally thousands and thousands of dollars worth of tournaments by not taking that Roshan. Although this OD is actually smoked, he sees the sniper here, or he saw some peeping happening.
As
Oh, the sniper's not going to push up though.
and Hurricane Pike, so his effective initiation range right now is absolutely incredible. Plus took that 40 movement speed talent, so he's pretty swift on top of that. He does have to worry about that haze. We saw him kind of get wrecked by it in that last fight, and he had BKB in the quick buy. Decided instead for the Blink Dagger. Still wouldn't be bad for him to pick that up, especially up against the Nyx Assassin as well. Is going to run into said Nyx Assassin. Everyone's going to blink away, and OD's left kind of standing there. Now they will go for Roche, though, but this is kind of not without clearing the pathway first. Bottom lane's being pushed. Everyone's still alive on Texas. Texas probably, they might be able to do something about this if they all grouped up in time.
I think Texas is honestly pretty okay with just taking. I think after that early game, they're pretty okay with taking any sort of map control they can get. And this PL's getting a lot of space right now. Unfortunately, his team is not farming. And they're not contesting Roche. Okay, they are farming now. So I kind of like to see when teams are like, okay, we don't want to fight Roche. It's too risky. Let's just push in the map, so that way the enemy team has to take at least 3 out of those 5 minutes of that Aegis timer to fix the map positioning. Although it looks like they are not necessarily aware of what's going on right now, because they're taking very, very safe farm as opposed to the lane farm. So I think they're kind of scared of a smoke. I actually really like the blink pickup on the OD, by the way. That's a pretty typical thing against snipers, just to get right on top of him. And I was actually going to say, I think DK should probably get one too, because the sniper is the big problem. And he does have it in his quick buy, but he also has a BKB. So it'll be interesting to see what he goes for first. I suppose it'll depend on how the next fight goes. If he finds that basically the sniper is too much of a problem, or that he's getting hazed, he'll choose one or the other. Okay, so he does go for the blink dagger. So I actually like this. So they can just blink and go on the sniper, and I think that's what they need to do. But the thing is, the PL is going to be a problem soon in these fights. Just like the sniper became a problem, the PL is going to come online as well. And then all of a sudden, you have these anti-sniper items. Not the problem anymore. The PL might be the problem. So that is the unfortunate thing about this, that push failing, about them not originally taking that Roshan, is that that hump has been passed for Team Texas, where Sniper, PL, Brew are just better heroes in the late game than an Undying, than a DK, and then an OD. They're just straight up better heroes in the late game. They do more damage. They win team fights. It's just gonna get so hard for them to fight if they don't win this next push with the Aegis. I think that it's basically Team Texas's game pretty handedly after the next fight.
It does seem like with all these blink daggers, these anti-sniper items you said, they're kind of relying less on muscle and a little bit more on finesse. If they land the initiation on the PL, I mean, he has the Talisman Evasion going for Butterfly. He's not super easy to kill off, but he's pretty much dead. Sniper, very similar situation there. So it is going to come down to the initiation style of a DK, of an OD, and the heroes are not terrible at it, but they're certainly not Bat Rider. So the initiation on the Dire side might be a little bit lacking, especially once again, top lane, dead zoned, shoving that one in, getting the farm, and they're trying to fix up this bottom lane, trying to push this mid lane at the same time. They have a DD on the Dragonite, and you can tell they're just itching to use it, as well as that Aegis, which still is on the OD, but no one's really cleaning up top, and PL uncontested can really put some damage into that tower.
Oh yeah, OD TPs. They're really happy with that. They might look to take a smoke right now and try to try to take a fight, knowing that OD TP'd up there. They see him now. Oh, it looks like they're actually going for the PL. He's being very greedy farming in their jungle after pushing this lane in. And they see him with the Undying. He pings. PL's just running away. He's saying, screw this. Drops a tombstone. Hey, that's 70 seconds. No tomb.
And a little bit of cash. 200 Gs for the PL. Gets into the trees, gets out of there.
That's, I mean, he's almost got his butterfly. So now he just goes and straight pushes the bottom lane. I really like this bots pickup by him, understanding that if they do win this game, it'll be by virtue of him basically making these lanes such a problem that the enemy team having the Aegis doesn't even matter. I mean, how long has this Aegis been out for? It's reclaimed in... Okay, Roshan may respawn in 5 minutes, so the Aegis reclaimed in, what, 3 minutes? So...
I think it's in 3, when it says 3.
Right. Okay, so this Aegis is about halfway up.
Oh, but
just by virtue of the PL...
Dead Zone is going to get tailed, though. And gripped as well. Brewmaster can't interrupt that, so the Bane is going to get a full channel. He's not dying, though. He does get the doppelgang out to double damage DK. He is going to give chase with that S and Y. The Phantom Lancer, though, is going to run to the OD. That's not what he wants to see right now. But he's actually still alive, 20 HP. They're trying to take down the Brewmaster at the exact same time. OD really doesn't want to use Sandy's Eclipse for it, but the Phantom Lancer finds himself in the trees. No way, Dead Zone gets away. Oh, Frankie is going to be kicking himself. Just press that Sandy's Eclipse button and you get that kill. They'll find a Rubik kind of randomly there and they'll take him down. But Phantom Lancer lives, and that means he can get back out on the map and keep split pushing.
Man, what a juke. Oh, God. Frankie's got to be so upset right now. That's so unfortunate. That is the big kill right there. Although the PL does have buyback, he is the annoying hero that's split pushing in these side lanes. If you kill him, you don't necessarily force his buyback, but you can get all the lanes into a good position where you can push. And Odie's actually going in and just blowing up the Nyx Assassin, but he uses BKB for it.
Not really sure about that, unless they can also get the sniper. Tail him up. He doesn't have haze cover this time because of that BKB. They'll take down Wonder as well, who also has buyback because I think he used it earlier. Should still be on cooldown. Yeah, it is. And now they have a little bit of an opportunity. Tombstone in the front as the OD is going to blade into the trees. Tries to shred the Rubik, but the Glimmer Cape's going to get him out to safety, it looks like. Frankie's kind of stuck here for the next couple seconds, which means that DK initiating. I'm not really sure if that's the best decision right now. Frankie's still there. He's going to shuffle himself out and shred the Rubik. There we go. Gets the kill after all. Does imprison himself to avoid a little bit of that damage coming in. They'll tail up the Phantom Lancer one more time. This time does have the full butterfly, as well as mischance from the Brewmaster with a nice ice pass. Ice pass is going to connect onto everyone from the Radiant. Frankie's still alive, does still have that Aegis, although it's going to be reclaimed very soon. He really should be dying here. Gets reclaimed. Oh, gotta watch out, Frankie, because you are only at 500 HP, not 3,000 HP as you once thought, but the Sniper is still dead. Brewmaster forced to buy out right now, and the Phantom Lancer is only at half HP. They will slowly grind down this structure. DK has another Blink Dragon Tail. He just needs an opportunity, needs a target. There it is onto the chopsticks. They'll take down the Nyx Assassin, Nightmare, the Brewmaster as well. Do they have any further disables? They have a Yule Scepter. Not really sure if that's going to cut it. And another Dragon Tail is now up, but they've busted this bottom lane, and they will maybe be able to slide over towards mid as well, since still Nyx and Rubik going to be down for a very long time, and Ramila is looking for someone. He's going to maybe find Dead Zone if he can identify the real one. That will be an absolutely massive pick, but the Sniper is back. He's going to go straight for him. Poor little dwarf guy has to face up against the dragon, and oh, the OD is going to shuffle in as well. Force Staff not going to get him far enough into the fountain. Actually, no, it will. He gets back to safety, and now the Sniper's going to be able to fire from the fountain fairly safely at that. Brewmaster is going to get picked off, most likely by that OD. I'm not sure if this Imprison's going to do enough damage, although, but the last orbit will. The OD is going to claim another kill for the team. Now back off straight towards mid as Dead Zone is going to start charging forward. Does get hit with the Nightmare. They'll try to take down Shu, but the Imprison's going to keep the Undying alive for right now. The Jakiro in a little bit of trouble will be dropped, and the Undying will be abandoned by the rest of the Dire team. Everyone is going to fall back, scared of that Sniper, scared of that PL, but they did take down a Rax and a half, and maybe we'll get a little bit more here. Nyx Assassin is going to teleport to the Shrine. Tries to get a good angle here. They will find the OD. Does have a Blink and Hurricane Pike. They will be able to use both to get probably just absolutely clean out of here. Although DK's found himself another DD. How does he keep doing this? I don't know. The Rubik's going to get torn to shreds, and now the OD imprisons himself one more time. He doesn't have any more tools, however, so he's going to have to sit and fight here. Takes a huge mana burn. Now the Shrapnel's on the deck, and the DK doesn't really have much to help him out here. Assassination coming in. OD's going to dodge it one more time with that Imprison. Looking for the Dragon Tail, but actually no, Ramila's out of mana. And the OD, oh, another huge mana burn, pops the BKB, turns around and absolutely obliterates that Excess, but does lose his life afterwards. Wonders in the back with the Mask of Madness turned on. Picking away at that DK. And Nightmare, that's not going to do much of anything, dude. He's going to get shot right in the face. He's down. Wonder gets a double kill. This game is... we got ourselves a real game here because
dude, there's so much
Texas
fighting.
Can still fight.
There's so much fighting in this game, dude. I feel like I'm watching UFC or something. Actually, there's less fighting in UFC than there is in this goddamn game. Kidding me? Insane. Although they did lose 2 racks on the side of Texas, so I mean they do have a sniper. They can constantly deal with these lanes. However, the unfortunate thing about losing these barracks isn't necessarily... Okay, when you get into the late game in Dota, Rax doesn't matter. Megas matters, Rax doesn't really matter, because you have these heroes like PL, like Sniper. They do so much damage, they basically kill all these creeps in like a couple of hits anyway, you know? So it doesn't really matter, these lanes at this point in the game with these sorts of heroes. However, the issue in this particular game is that these lanes are going to be constantly shoving in, which is giving map control, which is giving vision. And the PL with the split pushing, which was winning them the game earlier, it's no longer going to be as big of a deal because there's always going to be a lane pushing in where the enemy team is going to have vision, where they're going to be able to push, where they're going to be able to see if the enemy team has smoked. You know, if a lane of creeps is pushing in, obviously the enemy team has smoked because nobody's going to let a lane of creeps just push in for no reason. So it gives them so much information to have these lanes in, and that's going to help them. I mean, obviously it's going to help them a lot in this late game, despite having... And by them, I mean the dire side. It's going to help them a lot, despite having worse late game than University of Texas.
9K lead once again for Stony Brook here. So they're just going to go on the hunt with the DK. Does still have that Shadow Blade. Is going to get a really, really big item eventually in this Monkey King bar. Needs accuracy up against that Butterfly of the Phantom Lancer, as well as that Haze of the Brewmaster. Both have been absolutely crippling for these right clickers of Stony Brook's side. But in the meantime, Phantom Lancer, yeah, he has the evasion. He's been leaning on that pretty hard in these last couple of fights, but he's going to get some raw HP soon in the heart. He is very, very close to having completed it. He is going to get hit with the Dragon Tail first thing, then yeah, he could still go down, but in the middle of the fight, I don't know if DK with his splash damage can actually kill him off.
It's a lot of effective HP that he has with the DK actually sees him right now. They're going to need more than just the DK,
grip.
I think. With the grip?
Oh, they stack the stuns. That's not going to work, I don't think. They have a Macropyre from range, and the Phantom Lancer is just going to start fluttering out of there. I have Scotty effect from the Dragon, another Dragon Tail, but oh, the Impale. Dead Zone is still ticking down a little bit. He's going to get off to the side in the trees. I think Shu did see him. The Decay gets the kill. And yeah, Heart is great, but he doesn't have the Heart yet. And Rubik also is going to fall. That was not clean at all from Stony Brook, but they get the kill and he has no buyback, so the doors are once again open.
Yeah, I think they just lost. Oh, he has buyback actually.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, he has to buy that back. They've got the DK form. Just gonna tear through these buildings. Megas is where Megas is hard. The racks don't matter. The Megas really matter. So, PL, knowing that, he buys back. He knows he has to. Are they gonna reinitiate? Yeah, they are. DK's going in.
There are no more BKBs here. The Nick Assassin's gonna stun pretty much everyone, and that's gonna last a little while. And then he just dies. The Jakiro, Dual Scepter, will save himself up against these Phantom Lancers. Now the supporting crew of Texas is dead. There are no BKBs. There is no Elder Dragon form on the DK. There is Roche, though, so probably just a clean objective there for Stony Brook.
Although, I do think that Texas... I mean, I don't know if Texas wants to give this up. I don't know if they can take a fight with... Is this Refresher Shard Roche? Oh no, it's the cheese. I still think the cheese is... I mean, it's gonna be so hard to fight with this DK getting a cheese, or the OD getting a cheese. These heroes with cheese and Aegis, DK's not a great Aegis hero. OD's a pretty good Aegis hero. DK's a great cheese hero. I think... Oh, they're giving up. They don't want to fight without the Nyx Assassin scouting, which... You know, I can understand why you want to play like the long haul game with the sniper, but they do still have the shrine. I feel like the game's gonna be so much harder giving away this Aegis than it would be if they were to just throw shrapnels in this hit and maybe try to fight. But I guess having no information on the map, we have kind of, as casters, you have like the global view God mode. They don't see anything. They have basically no vision other than in their own jungle. So they're very, very scared to walk up any of these hills here. So. Obviously feeling the pressure, like they just cannot fight the Roshan, but this is going to be a really hard fight. DK has another Arcane rune. This guy gets God mode runes. Are you serious?
Dude, it's been like Arcane DD for the past like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's doing it, but these are the runes you want on Dragonite. And well, speaking of good pickups, we also have a pretty nice one on the OD. Heard Scythe of Ice is a above average item.
Pretty good.
Probably on par with the Aegis, maybe, debatably.
Yeah.
They have some serious power coming off of that Roche, like obviously the Aegis and Cheese, but you also have Blade Mail with that Scythe of Ice. Undying has full Guardian Greaves at this point, and now that Shrine is dead, so even less map control for.
When you pick up the Scythe of Ice on OD, all of the analysis that you can do on like killing this hero with that and none of that matters. Nothing matters when you have the Scythe of Ice on OD because he does enough damage in that Scythe with the hammer dropping afterwards that you could have so much effective HP, and he'll still probably kill you in the scythe. And you can use it to set up for the DK stun, for the grip. So, I mean, you said it earlier. This allows for a lot more plays that are kind of more finesse rather than just, muscle. So he can, if he blinks in, he sheeps the sniper. Sniper's probably dead if the positioning is right, if they have somebody to follow up. The PL, they need somebody to follow up the PL. I don't think they can kill him with just the sheep, but if they have the finesse there, then they're definitely going to be able to. This basically allows them to kill anyone at any point, given the right circumstances. They have the math is there. It works.
Oh, they'll just jump in and shred the Nyx assassin. Okay, yeah, he's dead. He does have a buyback, though, and they will split in the top lane, but chasing after Jakiro, using the Bane, that's not really what you want to be doing. That is going to be both BKBs down, however, so a little bit of opportunity here, and they'll catch the Jakiro in the front lines. Does get the Glimmer out with the Nightmare there as well. He'll be able to slip away. Tombstone is on the deck. No one's really focusing it as the Ice Path's making it very difficult to do so. BKB now goes out on the Brewmaster, trying to push forward. Not very threatening, but just very difficult to get through. Shu's going to get left behind. Flesh Golem, not really something that they want to lose, but I don't really know if they have any other options here. Dead Zone's caught in the middle of the fight right now. Doesn't have that heart just yet. Has to run away from the Dragon Knight. He's going to pop that cheese. Still can't find a target, and Wonder is in the back still with full HP until he gets gripped. And then Yule Scepter. That was not the play. But the OD's ignoring all of this, going for the Rax. No, he's going to change his mind, go for Wonder instead, but they're actually going to run out of True Sight. And the DK has been taken down by the Phantom Lancer in the meantime. Wonder's going to grab the Jakiro. Now looking for the OD, who's going to try to Sheep Stick and kill off that PL, but he will fall short up against all these illusions. Another Impale, another couple shots here for Wonder, and that'll be the Aegis. He does not have a blink out in time, so he's going to be stuck up here. Does have a BKB, now does have that blink. If he can escape, well, he's going to BKB instead and just kill the Nyx Assassin. That's going to tune out. Here comes the Dragon Knight. He's returned. He's going to kill off the Sniper. Dead zoned, he's sheeped up, and Frankie's going to start laying into him. Not quite enough to get the kill because he has to respect the pick and power of that Sniper. Even with that Enfeeble on, does hit very hard. Rubik pushing forward, looking for a spell to steal. Jakiro's going to buy back as well. They want to win the game right now, but I'm not really sure if it's in the cards because the Bane, well, he's going to be dropped very low, and he's going to go down. OD, not too healthy either. Doesn't have a blink, does have it in prison, but he can't quite get it off in time. Well, finally will do so. Has a blink probably to the southeast. No, just straight east. Walking right by those Hellbearers, and they will reconvene. But a lot of heroes on the dire side buying back, and okay, yeah, gets a DD rune. Dragon Knight just bought back, Jakiro just bought back. This is incredibly risky. If they lose this fight, they might just straight lose a set of racks. They'll take down a Rubik as per usual, and the DK is actually still invisible. Still with Wonder in their sights, blink forward, Dragon Tail, Macropyre on the deck, Sniper. He's gonna have to BKB and run out, and he is gonna escape. With the split keeping everyone else at bay, the Sniper's gonna survive the double damage gank from the DK, and now do the Dire want to keep pushing? I'm not really sure. The risk might just be a little bit too high right now.
Yeah, it's pretty risky. Like you said, that, at this point in the game, if you die back on a hero like DK, you could just lose Throne to Sniper PL. Although it looks like they are hard committing for this. I feel like they kind of should have done this earlier. I like this. BKB hit the racks. Maybe DK should have done that the whole time while they're just looking to fight. I think they just got to take these megas, man. You just got to be safe. But
Ice Path Phantom Lancer, but at this point he does have the heart. Frankie with the BKB is going to start laying into and kill off 2 with the Eclipse. They have isolated Dead Zone right now, but they're not on top of Wonder. In fact, no one's on top of that Sniper. He's still at full HP with that Lightning. Though the DK will blink forward, isn't quite fast enough to get on top of the Sniper. Dragon Blood will hold for right now. Soul Rip as well. They'll take down the melee. Looking for the range now. Lift Up is there, and the Undying probably going to get taken out, though, but they find the grip onto the Sniper, and there he goes. He's down. That has got to be a good game, unless this Phantom Lancer can pull off some sort of miracle. Mega's going to start flooding the base. They will get right on top of this OD, but the entirety of the Dire are still here. They'll land a Dragon Tail onto the Phantom Lancer, and he is going to get imprisoned. He does have the Doppelgang out, but there should be another Dragon Tail in time here. So no matter where he goes, he's spotted, and he is going to eventually go down. There's the kill. There's the GG. It takes a little while, but Stony Brook take the game.
Yeah, I think the Dire were pretty in control of that game the whole time. I can definitely understand the urge to just kill the enemy team, and then you're like, oh my god, how many buybacks do they have, Like, the amount of times that I've said that in pubs, I mean, probably at least 10 times in the last month, Like you just feel like you're so far ahead that you want to fight, And unfortunately, when you're fighting into a sniper brew PL, these heroes eventually they do come online and they do start really destroying you. But then again, you saw in the last fight, the discipline was there. They did not dive past those towers unless they had a clear shot on the sniper. They would kill the sniper. They would use the Bane Nightmare to save whoever went in, and they would back out and they would take the racks. And I think that is absolutely the right play, just to take it safe, to get those megas, and not just throw the game. So I mean, that's basically that. I think that they were in control of that game from the laning phase with that PL being so weak. There's a couple of throws here and there because they liked fighting, but I think it was more so they felt so far ahead that they could just take any fight, and they're like, oh, we got to win this fight. We're so far ahead. But then the buybacks come out, sniper peeping, things get a little bit dangerous. But sealing out the game finally. 46 minutes, probably could have been 20, but at least they won the game. That's all that really matters.
Win's a win, and from where we're sitting, it's also a little bit more interesting because let's be honest, with these type of games, sometimes you just have a mismatch of skill. A team gets rolled on, and
Right.
It just happens. But
yeah,
clearly we don't have, at least not a disgusting mismatch. So we have ourselves a real competition here as we move forward to game 2. That's going to be coming up shortly, guys. You don't want to miss it. Texas going up against Stony Brook, currently down a game. I'm Mike Larisman, joined by Jenkins. And guys, of course, AVGL is brought to you by Respawn. You can check them out, respawnproducts.com. I think it's also Respawn Products on their Twitter, their Facebook, and I believe Instagram as well. Get yourself a sick chair. I don't have one, but
I'm sitting in one right
Jenkins
now.
does.
They're comfortable. They're real comfortable. The DX racers, they're very much
yes.
like the DX racers, like super comfortable, super customizable, except they're not super expensive. They won't burn a hole in your pocket. They're basically like affordable, nice gaming chairs, which is awesome. I don't know why gaming chairs were so expensive in the first place.
Dude, everyone knows gamers are just flush with cash. That's
yeah, exactly, dude. We're all rolling in it.
Making those big esports dollars. Guys, don't go anywhere. Game 2 is coming soon. Guys, welcome back to AVGL. We've got more Texas going up against the Eternal King Frankie. That's Stony Brook University. Although, judging by Frankie's performance last game, it's only fitting that I assume that's him. He's on the flag. The team's named after him. It all makes sense. I'm Mike Loris. I got Jenkins here with me as well as we go into what looks like a very different opening. Caudle first pick. I wanted Liquid, man, and it looks like they're trying to deliver.
There you go. You got Liquid. We got a Caudle. I personally think that this hero is underrated. There's a guy in NA. He's a Russian guy, and his name is Sonic. And I don't know if any of you guys know who Sonic is. He's a European Russian guy. Spams Caudle. Will play it in literally any role, even carry. He'll pick up ridiculous items, but he is climbing the ranks with this hero, and he was 8K. Prior to the switch to metals, so 8K was huge MMR back then. If anybody didn't play back then, but that was a lot of MMR. And this guy, he's spamming Caudle, and it just makes me think this hero must be good. I mean, obviously this guy's amazing with Caudle. He's a great Caudle player, but a hero must have its merits if somebody can grind that much MMR with a single hero, right? Like,
I'm 90% sure I watched a SA game where he stood in. Probably. And they picked Caudle. I was like, whatever. He's a stand-in, got Caudle. It's normal. And then he went mid, and then they went for a timing push, and they just won in 20 minutes. And I have no idea what the hell happened. But now that you say like Sonic's playing Caudle, I'm like, yes, I saw that happened. And let me tell you, Caudle, I mean, by himself, you may have a high opinion of him or a low opinion of him. When you partner with specific other heroes, he gets pretty ridiculous. You want to be able to abuse the Aghanim Scepter or abuse the Chakra Magic and Ogre Magi. With that cooldown reduction, with that little bit of extra mana, you can do some pretty dirty things here.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Definitely not a bad hero to pair with the Caudle. And like you said, you want some heroes that can pair with the Aghanim Scepter, the healing that comes from those pushes of the, he presses his little horses and they run through, kill the enemy team, heal your team. Ogre is actually a hero who synergizes really nicely with a lot of these tower pushing heroes that benefit from that bloodlust. So, Caudle Ogre, great supports to pick like a TB, great supports to pick a DK. Some sort of early push lineup is going to work really, really nicely with both of these heroes. And like you said, you have the spammable spells that Ogre can really benefit from that Chakra Magic. And then we actually have a Tinker, which also can deal with pushes himself, and he can push himself as well if you get to that kind of timing where you can just sit and spam marches on your team. So this will definitely be some interesting Dota here. And DK picked up by Team Texas, not letting that go the way of Eternal King Frankie this game.
It seems reasonable based off of what the Dire side were able to do with that hero from game one. So go for the Nyx Assassin again, and honestly, I think this Nyx Assassin is still pretty what the hell is going on?
That is the Caudle hero right there.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about you get lower cooldown. It's a flat amount, like a couple seconds. What is that?
You can literally quill twice at once.
Yeah, so like it's great on Ogre Magi, but man, Bristleback being able to spray and then Chakra Magic and then you just spray like. Oh, I mean, the hero like DK has the armor to maybe not like insta die to that, but Bane, Nyx Assassin, though they're like not super soft either, they will just get torn apart.
Eventually, if they get enough stacks on the DK and he's gonna die. Bristle Caudle is quite possibly the best Caudle hero to be paired with in the laning phase. I mean, what you can do is you just walk up, you quill them twice, and then the third quill, it comes out second later, and I mean, it's something like 150 to 200 AoE physical damage at level 1 in an AoE. I mean, it's absolutely absurd, this lane. It's very difficult to lane into this. And I think a decent play, something that you could do against this sort of aggro dual lane, which is quite possibly going to come out in the Caudle Bristle, is you can pick like a Timbersaw or something like that, or Doom, or just throw DK against it. Some hero that's just going to solo get what it gets and not be that tri-lane that's getting completely handled by the dual lane. I think that's a really good way to deal with it. I think it's a mistake to tri-lane into it unless you have a very, very good tri-lane. And, I guess the Nyx Bane, not bad. You've set up for the Nyx stun with the Bane, but it's really going to depend on getting a really strong carry, really strong laning carry for killing the Bristle, or just say screw it and just dodge him and throw like a solo Zeus or solo DK against. I think that's probably the better play in this game. Just don't play into the hand of allowing your safe lane, you get destroyed by dual lane, you know?
You gotta cut your losses somewhere. And for Team Texas, they'll pick up this Zeus along with this Nyx Assassin. It's a combo that we used to see a couple patches ago. I mean, you just bought out for Zeus to get kills, but except for that point, like Zeus, incredible versus Tinker, with or without the Nimbus. You're working with some gas there. Also, not a terrible hero to have versus the Bristleback. Like static field, I believe it is reduced, but I also think it doesn't like pop quills. I might be wrong about that
Not sure.
from the static field passive component. And regardless, you will be able to just absolutely destroy him, especially if his back isn't facing you. So, I mean, that amount of burst damage from Texas, you get a brain sap from the Bane as well. They definitely do have spells enough to make this Bristleback not, completely run around without any
Yeah,
sort of issues. So they're working with some fire right now, Team
right.
Texas. They will perhaps lack a little bit of scalability. Uh, Maybe, but DK Zeus, they can definitely do some pretty heavy damage as you push towards the late game.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the bristle can get fairly handled in this game because they do have a lot of disable for him. And if Zeus manages to get in front of the bristle while he's disabled by the Fiend's Grip, by the Nyx Assassin stun, by the DK stun, Zeus can actually tear through that bristleback because bristle, even with the Hood of Defiance, Zeus is one of those heroes that just does so much damage that it doesn't even matter. One thing I want to say about Tinker versus this lineup, this is quite possibly one of the hardest Tinker games that I've seen. And I say that because I play a lot of Tinker, and this is always a really annoying setup when you're dealing with, number one, a Zeus alone against Tinker. You can play around it if you're a good Tinker. You know how you do it? You just stay on creep waves, or you don't blink into trees, because if you blink into trees, he ults you. He puts that Nimbus down. If you don't have a Force Staff, you're literally dead. You cannot blink because that Nimbus is going to hit you. So what do? You go on creep waves. You go behind creep waves. You just sit in the jungle. You basically occupy an open space, so that way you can walk out of the Nimbus. You can't do that against an Invis Nyx Assassin, though. You cannot. So you have the counter of Tinker going to open spaces by having the Nyx Assassin, and then you have the counter of him going into a closed space where he can't get out of the Nimbus with the Zeus. So it's kind of that they have two heroes to effectively deal with the counter, the way that you would counter. So Tinker would counter Nyx by doing this, Zeus deals with it. Tinker would counter Zeus by doing this, Nyx counters that. So this is a very, very hard Tinker game, actually. And with the Legion Commander, that's actually a very good hero against Tinker as well. If you can get the duel on him, I mean, he's basically guaranteed to be dead, especially if he gets the Agnum Scepter on the Legion Commander. There's nothing anybody can do to help the Nexus, to help the Tinker. So I think this is going to be a pretty difficult Tinker game unless he snowballs to the point where none of that matters. That is possible.
Yeah.
That happens with Tinkers. That definitely happens. So that could happen, but otherwise, I mean, this is going to be a hard game for him.
Legion Commander could also do kind of what you said Zeus would do. Like if you don't have any clue where the Tinker is, like just Thunder God's Wrath, Blink, Duel, like
Oh, yeah.
easy kill every single
Yep.
time. I think first and foremost, this Legion Commander is picked up in response to this Bristleback. Just
Right.
guarantee you hit his face, and then of course probably your allies are able to do the same, something along those lines. So this hero, this Legion Commander, does seem like she's in a really, really good spot matchup
Oh, yeah.
wise. Doesn't really get much worse up against that Lifestealer. Being able to press off stuff like Ignite or Open Wounds or the Mana Leak, like that is some big, big game from Legion
yeah.
Commander. So really, really well positioned hero here. For Frankie's side, Eternal Kings, for Stony Brook, however you want to call them, they'll pick up the Lifestealer. Get another melee hero who is kind of susceptible to kiting. Doesn't really have the best access route in. Doesn't seem like the best game for Lifestealer, but it is a hero that will make really, really good use of the fact that there's a Coddle on his team and an Ogre Magi on his team.
Right. Yeah, I think Lifestealer is pretty decent against Legion Commander too, because with the Lifesteal, it's actually pretty damn hard to duel and kill the Lifestealer until you get that Blade Mail on Legion Commander, which isn't something you always necessarily really want to go. Although against a Tinker, it's definitely the play. But Lifestealer is going to pair pretty nicely up against this Legion Commander. However, the Legion Commander can purge off the Ignite, the Flow, like you said, and the Coddle Mana Leak. However, when you put Legion against multiple heroes that Legion can purge these spells, you can kind of play the bait game, You throw an Ignite on, you wait for him to purge it, and then you slow, and then you kill with the Coddle Blast. So I definitely think they have some answers for the Legion Commander, but I mean, this could be a very, very nice Legion Commander game just because, I mean, with the Blade Mail, it's good against the Lifestealer. Obviously, it's a complete hard counter to Bristle because you make them face you. You can have your team do damage to the Bristle too by they can position, so they angle so that Bristle's facing them as well. And then the Tinker with the Zeus ult, you can definitely find the Tinker in the tree. So if Legion gets a good game, this game, it's definitely going to be one of those snowbally Legion games that we see quite a lot. Although it is a Legion off lane with a Nyx chilling around. I imagine Nyx is probably just up here for this level 1 rune engagement, though. That's about it.
What the Legion can do up here. It's also worth noting that well, I think we're both a little bit higher on Texas's draft this time around. We see a lot more just good matchups, dispersed merits here and there. Specifically those Tinker answers, I would say. But you're also looking at a hero like Bristleback, who usually just wants to tank up, like pretty much do nothing but tank up for his first couple items. And up against Zeus, you really want a hood or a pipe. And against Legion Commander, you kind of just want to get a little bit of durability from physical, and DK is kind of mixed, so it's like, what do you actually get as the Bristleback that can let you be safe in these engagements? There's no easy itemization because the damage spread from Texas is almost like perfectly balanced. Like, they have magic, they got physical, and they have a little bit of pure.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Actually, I think this is kind of one of those difficult Bristleback games where, I mean, just like the Tinker, I think, yeah, like you said, they've got a lot of ways to deal with the Bristle because he can't really get enough items unless he snowballs. That's kind of the wild card. If he snowballs, none of this analysis matters, you know. But if it's a regular Bristle game, he's gonna be killable, and that's not what you want your Bristle to be. You want him to get to a point where reasonably he becomes unkillable. However, with the Caudle, you know, he definitely can be set up for a pretty easy snowball. I do like the fact that they're throwing the DK basically alone against this lane. Bane's kind of chilling around, but he knows.
Where's this Legion going? Not being cut off by any dire heroes. You're just leading 2 waves of dire creeps to... Where? What?
Yeah, I can tell you. Green made this Lifestealer made a huge mistake. He pulled the creep wave into the tower, which is going to result in the Legion Commander getting a massive double, if not triple wave, followed by 2 waves of free uncontested experience under his tower. Unfortunately, for the Lifestealer, there's not much he can do other than pull it into the tower, so it's kind of like a forced mistake because the Legion didn't pull 1 wave, he pulled 2 waves. So, do you really want to tank 2 waves and kite them around and wait for that wave to come?
Meantime, Caudle with the Bristleback doing a lot of damage to this DK, but taking a lot of damage himself. Will get first blooded by this Bane, but the Quills, they're stacking up. The Bane, one more spray, not quite gonna kill anyone. He doesn't have any sticks, he's gonna right click down. No, actually will kill off the DK, and now the Nightmare into right clicks will get the Bane a kill, in fact a double kill, in fact. So I've got wand charge value all over this bottom lane, but overall a 2-for-1 in exchange in favor of Texas, but they're gonna get right back on the horse and up towards top lane. Legion Commander, you can have all the creep waves in the world, but if you die, there's gonna be no one to collect. Fire Blast leveled up from the Ogre Magi. They'll beat her down. Oh, this is so much experience.
They're gonna
be thrown
lose.
to
They
the
might lose the
dumpster.
tower because it's a triple wave. That's so funny. Oh, that's so unfortunate when you're an offlaner. Although he's TPing, he's gonna get this XP, but the damage to the tower. Oh man, this is backfiring.
They're just gonna push her out. Like, she doesn't have press. Okay, now she does have press, so she'll be able to help out against this open wood somewhat. But this experience is...
They're losing the tower.
Yeah, they're losing the tower. They're losing this entire like pull scenario worth of experience and gold. I've never seen this kind of new shenanigans from the pulling early on like backfire this hard.
Usually, what you do is you pull 1 wave because, well, I can tell you, I definitely didn't think it would be this bad. But usually you take a bit of tower damage, but dying as well. Putting yourself into that position where you can get zoned completely off the creep wave. You can't pull the creeps from the tower. Oh god, did that backfire. What a great pull that was to start, too. And the Nakes pulling it into the tower. Honestly, maybe it was intentional. Maybe they knew. They're like, okay, let's just let this Legion Commander get this triple wave, and he's going to be alone. We'll zone him. I guess my question is, what happens if Bane TP's there? What happens if, you know, if Nyx TP's there? Is that different? The bottom lane, Bristle's being very aggressive. As he should.
Yeah, DK is taking some precautions. 2 points in Dragon's Blood instead of just the 1 at this stage. They're going to go make an attempt for Zeus, but that's going to turn around, and I think that right there answers your question. What happens if some of these heroes teleport to the top lane? Probably something along those lines.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I do feel like that's a little bit on the supports that they lost that tower. I can't stop thinking about that, man, because I'm an offlaner, and I'm thinking like, okay, that seemed so good for the Legion, you know? Getting that huge wave, that seemed so good.
I think it's one of those things that Like now they're like, we should have teleported up there, but back then it's
Right.
like, yeah, what's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. Yeah, I think so too. Because I mean, I've never seen a double wave or I've never seen a wave that huge. Because not only was the double wave pulled, but the Nakes pulled it right into the tower. So that was basically the biggest possible wave that you could get in the first 2 minutes. So yeah, that was interesting.
Wasn't
God,
there
that
like
was
shaker abuse when you could like wall off the creeps and kind of like save them in the trees and then just unleash like a quad wave? When Fisher didn't like stick onto the creeps, they would just like keep trying to get through. I'm pretty sure that
Oh,
happened at some point.
yeah, yeah. You could stick them in the trees, and then you could
Yeah.
stand there and block them off.
But now at this point, this top lane has no tower, so there's nothing really easy to teleport to. There's not a great safety spot here. They will take down one. Well, Frankie Best kills off Wonder by himself while this is happening. So, I mean, this top lane is just an absolute brawl fest. And Legion Commander is kind of okay with it, but not having that tower is really costly. Not having a Zeus in the mid lane because he just got
Wow.
sniped by the
Well,
Tinker, that's pretty bad as well.
This looks like it's a Tinker Snowball game. This Zeus is getting handled in this mid lane. The thing with this Tinker versus Zeus matchup is that usually when I'm playing the Zeus in this matchup, I like to call for my supports to come help me in the early levels because it's actually Tinker favored until Zeus gets some levels up in his spells.
But
And then it's heavily, heavily Zeus favored. So I like to say, okay, guys, remember, my hero counters Tinker in the late game. Just support me in the early game. That's the only point where he could snowball and he loses. But unfortunately, there's been so much going on this map. As I say that, the DK actually gets to a bot with this bristle. There's so much going on in this map that the supports just can't be everywhere at once, you know? Bane actually TP'd. He's down there trying to help out, but he can't do anything because the bristle's putting on so much pressure.
it does seem like mechanically the Stony Brook side just have a little bit more of an edge. Not to a degree where they're just going to like auto win all of these lanes, but to a degree where you kind of need supports in order to make sure that you're not losing quite as hard as you otherwise should be. And
Right.
that means that your supports need to work all the harder. Maybe they'll rotate down to this Bristleback, and maybe they'll be able to kill him off. With the
Ooh,
two-man
nice double
impale, they probably will be able to, as they will just get into his face, start right-clicking him. He is going to get into the trees, and let's see how much damage he can do before he goes down. A lot. He will get his brain sapped out. And
Dude, erotic chopsticks with that double stun. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. Because I mean, yeah, that was just really nice. I mean, that's the sort of stuff they need to do to come back from this with pretty regular heroes against these kind of snowbally, cheesy heroes. They definitely need to do stuff like that. And I mean, boy, did he kind of, what's the word? Can't think of the word.
Chopsticks
He did
delivered.
good.
Yeah.
The Knicks did good.
Now he's off the lane. The Bane jukes, though, are real, so he's going to dodge the Bristleback Coddle combo. Level 5, level 4 on the Bristle Coddle, respectively. They're making this life very difficult for the DK. And we can see, much like in Game 1, Dire side with just a little bit of an early lead here. They're going to make it a little bit larger, trying to go for the Legion Commander, but it looks like the spell casting there from the Ogre Lifestealer not quite layered properly up against the press.
Yeah, you don't want to press them both at once. You gotta do the bait. And I mean, they did it once, so presumably a little bit of a miscommunication there, but that happens. I mean, they're so happy with this top lane right now. Just because that tower is dead, they know that this Nakes can basically do whatever the hell he wants, and he's gonna be totally free from it because there's nowhere that the supports can TP to. And Nyx just going into the trees, just trying to soak something, knowing that he can't even step up into this lane because nobody can help him if he gets gone on. I cannot stop harping on this tower, but it is so bad to lose that tower this early because it just makes this safe lane so free for the Dire side. And not because there's supports, they're securing it. It's because there's no tower to secure it for the enemy team. So they basically have free reign on this lane without actually having to put any amount of pressure up here.
They're pressuring bottom as well. Shu does pick up his hood. He's going to go in a little bit too deep. Does have some more sticks. And is there another brain sap? There is, but the Bane and
my
DK,
God.
they get double quilled. I mean, it's not a Bristleback Coddle game unless you see it at least once, right? And there it is. So, yeah, bottom lane is under a lot of pressure. Top lane is being pressured. Zeus is losing mid lane. Things aren't going that great here for Team Texas. But, you know what? That's fine. They do have, as we mentioned earlier, like good enough matchups that you can take a hit early on and kind of rally in the mid game. We do have an interesting selection here from the Lifestealer as Wonder almost gets picked off by Frankie, but he's thinking about going for a Battle Fury. Radiance Lifestealer is like the new thing. Is the world ready for Battle Fury Lifestealer?
Honestly, I've seen it. I've seen it in some high rated pubs, and I do like it. I feel like he does a lot of damage. He likes to run around the jungle and farm. He has pretty good talents for farming too. If he goes movement speed and attack speed, I mean, it's just I think it's good. I mean, I think it's definitely good, especially when you have like a Tinker and a Bristle that are doing so damn well. You can just be so greedy on this lifesteal, and you're not going to lose. You're just gonna be this insurance policy. You're basically gonna come online guaranteed and be such a tremendous force in this game, no matter what. And why not? How could he get punished in this game? I'm gonna eat my words if I say that. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But
what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, exactly. Dude. I feel like it's very hard to punish him in this game, just given the current lane setup and taking this tower. I mean, he's so free to do whatever the heck he wants that I don't think he needs to go for any sort of fighting build. He can just play for the late game, and his Tinker and his Bristle are gonna carry him through the early game as it stands right now.
Small tweak as well to maybe he would have gone for a Radiance if he didn't have Bloodlust on his team. It's like you're gonna have that farm accelerant, you might as well just go for something that rewards you with the cleave instead of the Radiance, which really doesn't as much, or if at all. So he's gonna be happily farming on that top lane. What is this Tinker looking like? He's got his travels much locked up at a pretty decent time, and dead zoned again, not having a lot of fun. Does have quite a few charges built up on the wand. Bristleback, he's taking quite a heavy hit on this bottom lane. Gets put to sleep one more time. There's no mana for... Actually, there is mana for a Brain Sap. Is he just dead here? Not quite. Still alive. DK only has one Breathe Fire because he had to pick up this Dragon Blood to not die here. So he's not doing all that much damage. Thunder God's Wrath isn't going to do jack up against that Hood either. Now Frankie's Best going to come in with some missiles, with some lasers. There goes the Bane, and now dead zoned. He's so tanky, but he has no threat, so it's like, this DK, we can take all day to kill him, but we'll eventually kill him with this laser.
Wow. That was an Arcane Rune laser. Tinker Gank. With Max Laser, that's a very, very low cooldown. He doesn't even need the rearm, which he did not have it. All he needed to do was walk down there and laser twice, and it's just free kills. That's a nice Nyx stun on the Tinker, but not doing much. Nyx is level 6. Nyx could make some things happen right now. Killing this Tinker would be a pretty big deal. I think the play is to just say, all right, guys, we've tried killing the Bristle enough times. Let's just leave him alone. I think honestly, like 2 or 3 minutes ago is when you stop going to that lane altogether, and you just focus on the other lanes, because there's gonna be diminishing returns on going to the hero, giving him farm, going to that hero, giving him more farm. You're not gonna be able to kill him at a certain point. I think they hit that point a couple of minutes
another
ago.
two-man impale on the top lane. Duel is up, and they will duel and kill off the Ogre. Rilla is here, and they will also teleport the Tinker in, but into 4 heroes. Not really sure if that's the best decision. They'll try to snipe the Legion Commander. March of the Machines is out. The Legion Commander should be safe to back out of here. Lifestealer now going to go for the Bane instead. Brain Sap going to give him a lot of extra juice here. And he'll try to teleport out. There's missiles and lasers. Can't reach the Bane. Can't really reach the DK, not effectively. So they will actually save the Tinker. Let's call it that. And then kill off Lucas with some missiles. Okay, well, there's an Observer Ward on the high ground there for the Dire, so they got him. And now with an Ignite onto the DK, trying to go for him as well, but Lifestealer really doesn't fare well up against the DK with maxed out blood at this stage. But the Tinker does, if he's able to cast those spells. They'll turn around, kill off the Ogre, dead zone, about taking no damage from this Lifestealer. Now here comes the Zeus, the heavy hitter with the magic damage. They'll jump into a range creep, and they will eventually kill off the DK with the March. And now Ramila is out. The chase is on for the life. They're just going to teleport out. Well, that's a little bit boring. Oh, they will find the Bane, though. Walks a little bit too close to the Tinker. Gets obliterated now, looking for Wonder, because Shu has also joined the fray. Although not quite able to stick on top of that Zeus because he has no goo just yet. Chopsticks into his second Vendetta of the fight. Lucas is here as well with a duel. There is a blinding light and the barrier from the Coddle. Nothing's going to touch this Coddle, so they will back off safe and sound. This Tinker, so far unpunished. 6-0-0.
Yeah, this is one of those issues where you allow the Tinker's extremely strong early game solo laning to kind of go unpunished by supports. I mean, Zeus dying, that's bad. You cannot die, right? But it is a very Tinker favored lane until the Zeus gets some spells online, and if Tinker has a lead, Tinker counters, like I said, all the analysis goes out the window. The counters don't really matter because he's just in your face and unkillable and doing so much damage that you're dead before you can lock him down. So all the lockdown, all the disable, he's not split farming and getting caught out. He's with his team. He's 5-manning, and this is kind of the problem with having a Tinker shutdown lineup and not shutting him down in the early game. And Bristle's actually getting gone on. Maybe they actually kill Bristle. Wow.
Stun's long enough to get into his face. He didn't have the barrier up at the time, so Now this hero, at the end of the day, yes, he is very, very durable, but health-wise, 1100 HP, I mean, it's a pretty deep amount. I mean, I'm not gonna bullshit here. Like, that's a decent amount of HP, but you have 4 heroes like that, and you can cut through 1100 HP like nothing, so
Yeah.
gotta be careful about positioning for sure, at least until he has an extra item. It looks like it's gonna be a Lotus. They will wander the Coddle a little bit too close to the DK. He's going to try to book it away from this duel. Legion Commander is going to get the duel, but gets blinded. They're both blinded, in fact. Can they get the duel win? They'll kill him, but they'll lose the DK in exchange. Now the Bristleback is going to arrive as well, Lifestealer. Of course, the first thing you want to do when you pick up a Battle Fury is go fight.
Yeah,
you will, unfortunately, not find anyone. But
I think
still,
with
DK
the
for
Bristle,
Coddle? Yeah, it's fine.
It's exactly what you said. It's that they have so many different damage sources, so many ways of locking him down, that he's going to need so many items to be that truly unkillable Bristleback in this game, you know? So it's hard for him, and you can see that he's going for an armor item afterwards, and kind of a counter to the Zeus, to the DK, to the Bane. He's kind of trying to cover all bases, but by the time he has this, they'll have some more items, and maybe he won't be so tanky. And actually, it looks like he might get gripped here.
Base is
Setting
towards
up.
them as well.
Legion's not heading over. They're just the hits of Bristle. Honestly, that's good though. They learned their lesson with trying to focus that hero. They're just like, screw this. Zeus is getting gone on the bottom line. I think Zeus is just dead. There's nothing he can really do here.
There's a Fire Blast, gets multicasted just for good measure, cool right clicks from the supporting crew, and an Illuminate for good measure. There goes Wonder. There is a rotation coming in from the Nyx Assassin. Doesn't seem like this is the time to do this, though. Like, are you really going to try to assassinate an Ogre Magi? That's never going to happen. Are you going to try to go into the March to kill off the Tinker? I'm not really sure if that's viable either, so yeah, just a clean pick here for Stony Brook, and they're going to just march the wave down with a Catapult. Dude, Bloodlust that Catapult to get the deeps. There you go.
Zeus is a huge pickoff too, because he's their Tinker answer, you know, for kind of the tree sitting Tinker, and you know, even for fighting with that Nimbus, it's really good for killing Tinker in fights. But you know, he's not having a very good game. He's basically got support farm at this point, so yeah, it's pretty hard for him to function as a Tinker counter without any items or levels for that matter.
Tried to catch Shu with the ranged Dragon Tail and ended up popping Elder Dragon for him, did nothing with it, and now it looks like he'll continue to do nothing with it. I don't know what count this is for the Elder Dragon form, but I'll tell you what, all the towers on the dire side are alive and in impeccable shape. They'll try to go for the Bristleback, but there's no actual threat here on the DK. He needs to pick up a damage item if he's going to have any sort of threatening nature for Bristleback, so Shu is occupying 2 heroes at a time right now.
So even less damage than you would expect for a DK at level 10.
Once you get that Silver Edge, though, you got some options there. They'll get to his face. Dragon Tail, Impale, and now the barrier comes up. Legion Commander is here.
Body block.
The missiles are coming in, though, and with that laser mischance, Dead Zone will do nothing. They will drop the Zeus ults. That will also pretty much do nothing. Another jump forward. Missiles chasing after the DK will stick up and will survive. But off in the south end of the fight, Ogre Magi v Zeus. Not really sure if Ogre Magi wants to take that, though Wonder can't punish him, so that move from Stony Brook, once again, unpunished. In the meantime, Coddle playing the Broodmother on bottom lane, and no one's dealing with them.
Got an Ag soon. That's I mean, Coddle honestly becomes a core once you get that Ag in him. Like, he is so important to kill in these team fights. They're giving him a lot of... I really, really like what Stony Brook is doing right now. They're basically allowing Coddle to take an entire section of the map. Like you said, like a Broodmother, he's taking core farm, because that Aghanim Scepter is important enough to focus in the early game, arguably over a Battle Fury for a Battle Fury hero. It's actually that important because it's so strong for those early pushes. You have this window where you basically function as like a super Chen, where the enemy team literally can't defend from you. So they're actually making space for him with heroes that you would think they need to have space made for them. But since they have such an early game lead, they're like, okay guys, let's have Coddle function as a split pushing carry, and he's going to pick up a really early Aghanim Scepter, and now they're going to be against basically 4 cores instead of 3, because when you get that early Ags, Coddle is a serious threat, more so than just a random 4-staff support Coddle.
Put a gem on him, and then all of a sudden Nyx Assassin and the Shadow Blade DK are really sad. Speaking of sad, Nyx Assassin gonna get jacked up, but he does land a couple of good stuns here. They get the grip onto the Bristleback, and they'll try to work him down. Laser onto the Legion Commander won't do enough, and the Bristleback will eventually fall. Tinker, though, still dishing the damage. The Shrine, not gonna say that Nyx Assassin, but the Coddle and the Ogre sandwiched between one too many heroes with no lifestealer support. He's top lane farming with Battle Fury as well as he should be. We'll get them a 1-for-3 exchange. Texas get a pretty nice win there in killing off that Coddle, but
top with duel.
Mila is gonna back off right now. Bane is a little bit slow incoming. Nightmare cast range is pretty crap with no Ether Lens, so they can't get him.
I just don't think they can kill him without... I mean, can they kill him, period? Can they kill the Lifestealer with 2,000 HP right now and the Lifesteal on the duel?
With Thunder God's Wrath level 2, if that was up, maybe?
So hard. I think even with the Zeus there, it's close, you know?
You need a lot of moment of courage.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You need to get lucky. Tinker could TP too and just cause even more havoc. Lifesteal is going to be a real problem. I wonder if he goes and picks up the Radiance after this this Sanjin Yasha, or if he's going to stick with the purely kind of right-click build. Honestly, the right-click build makes a lot of sense when you're... Do you really want to pick up a Radiance against Nyx Assassin? I mean, he just carapaces you whenever he feels like it, whenever it's convenient for him, and it's very hard to fight around that. So I do like the fact that he's not going Radiance this game. You know,
it's not like you need mischance either when you have a Coddle on your team.
True, yeah. There's diminishing returns on getting the same thing over and over. Yeah, I definitely don't need that mischance.
Top of that, for as if Coddle Ags isn't strong enough, you also are working with a Tinker and a Lifestealer with Recall, so you can do some pretty broken things map mobility wise.
Yeah,
and you can yank everyone everywhere. I'm not sure if you can pull a Lifestealer in if he's like gonna invest into something, and you could like pull him out of that. I'm not really sure about that interaction, but you could definitely yank in an Ogre Magi with the Lifestealer inside of him and then just jack someone up.
I imagine you probably can take the you could recall the Lifestealer and you could jump out right before or maybe he's immune, so you can't recall him when he's in something. Anyway, I just realized the Coddle Tinker combo with the rockets and the Day Vision. Oh my god, is that going to be insane? With the gem too, hitting the Nyx Assassin and the Invis, any Glimmer Capes that they want to pick up. The Coddle Tinker is just, it's kind of like Coddle Beastmaster Tinker, where it's just gonna be so much damage being dished out because he has all the vision for the rockets in the world. That's a good combo. I've never actually seen that one, Coddle Tinker.
I think probably Bounty Hunter is like that's the combo with Tinker.
Or Slardar.
Yeah, you have some powerful ones, and this certainly is a powerful one, just a little bit more rare. He's got the Kyle already. He's going to go for the Aghanim Scepter. Did get a little bit nerfed, I believe, like something about acquisition range. It's slightly less.
The range on the bounce for the laser is like 400 now instead of 600. So basically, if you're not standing
you actually have to
close
work
to each other, it's not gonna just game like it did before, you know.
Yeah, you actually have to work hard to get it. Well, he's pushing towards it right now. Of course, Tinker farms like a madman. Coddle Ags is up, and 2 minutes till daytime. You know what? It's about time to kill off a DK, I would say. He does have a Blink Dagger. He is still with the open wounds. I don't think they have any stuns here, even with the pushback. He's just gone.
Yeah, he wasn't. I mean, DK's got such a low mana pool. He's always got a decent amount of mana in him, you know. And the mana leak, unfortunately for Coddle, is a percentage-based leak, so not as great against these low mana pool heroes as it is against something like a Lina or Storm. These huge mana pool heroes where you can really drain them, and they have high spell costs and things like that. So DK always sitting on a decent amount of mana, doesn't get stunned by that. Bristle's just zoning. I really like this play by Bristle. He's not really looking to commit to anything. He's just kind of saying, hey, you want to get through to my team who's pushing your tower, you have to go through me. Kind of just positioning himself where his team is at an angle behind behind where the enemy team is. So they would have to go through him and take a bunch of quill damage or kill him. And if they kill him, well, enemy team just gets out, probably take a lot of damage. Maybe they can even fight. But most importantly, if they go for his team, he'll just crush them with the quills.
A little bit early to make this push. Still not daytime just yet. Seems like it doesn't matter though, because you got Tinker this time, unlike the last game, to kind of handle those other side lanes, make sure they're not pushed too far. Plus, like, is Zeus really going to take your tower? Maybe eventually, but not in any timely fashion. So now 30 seconds left until daytime. This is when shit might hit the fan for Texas. This is when they really have to, either batten down the hatches or seriously start to split push hard.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, look, they're not even... I mean, Coddle's not even... Who cares about a Coddle during the nighttime, you know? But they're so far ahead on the other heroes, not just the Coddle, that they can push during the nighttime. That's pretty rare that you see that happening in a Coddle game. Almost always people will continue split pushing and just playing the split farm game until it's daytime, and then you just go ham with the pushes, you know? Because that heal, man, it heals the creeps, kills the entire enemy creep wave, hits the enemy team, hits your team. All you gotta do is you ping the ground and say, hey guys, I'm healing right here. Your team can use it to bait like you would bait with the mech or wand charges. There's so much stuff that you can do with that, and it looks like they're actually grouping up to push the middle lane right now with this Coddle heal. Yeah, he's just gonna keep spamming it out. You don't even do it to nuke. You do it just for the constant healing. And the only thing is they're pushing into a Zeus, so he's pretty damn hard to push into, but they do have that Coddle Ag scouting, so the Tinker can just constantly rock it out and cause some havoc in this. Oh, look at the damage from the Tinker.
Freshly agged Tinker as well. So Chopsticks is almost dead, Wonder's almost dead, they have to Fountain. Lifestealer, I'm really sure if like Battle Fury, like in a 24-minute game like this, is really going to be showing how powerful it can be. But you know what? I'm pretty sure they're okay with it if it means just straight winning the game, because these blasts are absolutely destroying them. There is once again no true sight here for the dire side. Seems to be a common trend. That means Chopsticks only lands a stun onto one. They'll try to go for the Coddle. They have to bring this guy down, and they will do so with the dual win at that. Lifestealer also gripped up the entire time. Dragon Tail onto the Tinker, but no amount of focus fire onto this Tinker. He's going to be able to slip out of there. I mean, killing off the Coddle is great, but losing a Bane and Legion for it is awfully expensive, especially since the Tinker can still perform to almost his peak degree, and especially when your racks have been already taken over in the mid lane with still a double life on this Lifestealer. They may back off here, they may not, but regardless, it's already a huge win for Stony Brook here, as once again, these Tinkers cast, these missiles, man, just an absolute wall of tech that Texas cannot go in. They need BKBs, and I mean, when are these heroes going to get time to farm BKBs?
And, you know, I really like the way that Texas executed that last team fight. You have to go on a Coddle. If there's a Coddle and you don't go on the Coddle, you'll want to go on the Coddle in the next fight, you know? You'll make that decision yourself that, oh god, we need to go on the Coddle on the next fight. Because he'll just heal whoever you go on. He will mana leak you. He will give you the miss chance. And even if you have a lot of spells, a lot of the time you need some right clicks to finish somebody off. So Coddle's going to give you the miss chance. He's going to heal his team. And all of a sudden, the guy that, you know, you basically have to go in the Coddle, he saves whoever it is, almost no matter what. Even if you have a lot of magic damage, you could have Ravage, you could have whatever. He's going to save them. I really like that they went on the Coddle. They even killed the Coddle before anybody could react. But still, they have such a huge net worth lead on these other heroes that the Coddle's not just the problem. So it's unfortunate that it snowballed until this point, because they literally don't have the damage, even executing the team fight beautifully, exactly how they should. They don't have the damage to take down the other heroes after killing the save hero. So it's just looking real rough, and I see that's why Legion Commander's actually split pushing top, because they know that they can't fight.
There's an arcane rune on the Keeper of the Light. Oh, as if it wasn't obnoxious enough already. The blasts are going to be coming, and we can see how much damage the dire side are being dealt. About none. They're at full HP. They killed off a DK casually. Chopstick is going to get picked off by the Lifestealer. And they're all still pretty much at full HP in the meantime. Duel, it's going to be reflected. Oh, the damage for the Lifestealer. There you go.
Double damage. He got double.
Yeah. More than the Legion Commander, and that's GG.
Ooh. Ooh, that's so sad. That's so sad.
Happens, man.
28. Well, another kind of snowball off the laning phase, except a lot less throwy by Eternal King Frankie.
New team name. They just needed that that flag. That flag
exactly
gives them power.
They just trust in Frankie. You know, if they put the trust in Frankie, he's no longer gonna blink in and try to dive and kill instead of, you know, hitting towers. You know, they just gotta be like, okay, Frankie. You know, you can tell when they change their team name to this, it's all Frankie's call to go for those dives. Anyway, no throws this game. Just basically snowball off the laning phase. I think they actually had a pretty hard draft to execute if the laning phase went evenly, but boy did it not go evenly. There was so much pressure everywhere that the supports on Texas just couldn't get around enough to deal with it. By the time they got somewhere, there was deaths already occurring, so they kind of just ran around yo-yoing for the entire game, and it was just too much.
If they were able, Team Texas, to stem the bleeding, like have a whole bunch of neutral lanes, like not getting actively dove and killed off, that tower on top lane survives, then maybe we get to see the effects of having these good matchups, like Nyx Assassin and Zeus going up against that Tinker or the Legion Commander going up against Bristleback, but at a certain point, like your matchups are one thing, your farm is quite another.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
we just didn't get to that point, which is unfortunate because, when you actually get to see Bristleback or Zeus, like it's stuff that's pretty rare. It's kind of a bummer not to see pan out.
Yeah. I guess that just goes to show that despite having these like theoretical game counters, timings matter a lot too. What time do these heroes come online? Like Tinker beat Zeus in the early game, even though Zeus is a Tinker counter. Bristle is really good at pressuring the early game, even though they had the counter of the Legion Commander. It's just all about these timings, and they knew it, and they abused it to the point where it looked like Colonel King Frankie had the better draft. And I think that timing wise they did, but the execution had to be there, and it was. So kudos to them for recognizing that and really punishing in the early game, because I think if they didn't, it could have been a lot different of a game.
Like you don't have to look any further than the Coddle and how they handled him. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, like farming Ags first on Coddle, that like takes a very specific call to begin with.
Oh yeah.
And
for
then
sure.
getting it and then using it. Like a lot of things have to go very right. So many games we see teams, pro level teams, like pick up Coddle, really slow Ags, 4-staff first, and then it's like, well, the hero's not really all that great. But if you can enable your Coddle like this, seems like the most broken hero in the game.
It really does. I mean, they basically gave him core farm, and I think that's what you need to do at a certain point. I mean, that's how Sonic plays it, and he's like rank 50 right now or something. So there's something there, man. There's something there.
Learn from Sonic, guys. If you want to play Coddle, I don't know how good he is at the other heroes, but Coddle for sure gets Jenkins a seal of approval. But guys, we are fortunately done right now. Is that it? Yeah, that seemed
Yeah, that's it.
unfortunate, but yeah, it will be the Eternal King Frankie's victory, and they will of course represent Team Stony Brook, going to claim that 2-0 over Team Texas. Guys, of course, AVGL is brought to you by Respawn, so you can check them out, respawnproducts.com. Pretty much everything on their chair is customizable. Like, I was reading the list, and it's like, no, you could actually change anything. So, like, yeah.
You could even get customized embroidery if you want a nice little logo on there. Get your Dota, your Steam profile picture on there.
Dude, but then your head is right in the way, and then they can't see it. So you have to, like, put it on top or, like, slouch down.
That's fine.
Or
You just
recline
slouch
it or
down.
something like that,
Don't
which
need
you
to have good
can do.
posture.
You got options, guys. You got options with Respawn, including a pretty disgusting amount of recline, which I would never use because I like to sit, but Mott does like to use it.
Let me tell you something, dude. Living at the Moonduck house, I can say that the recline is convenient for people. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
People use
comfort,
it.
we got style, we got value, we got convenience. That's all you need sometimes. Guys, I'm Mike Loris. Been joined by Jenkins. And if you guys enjoyed the cast, you could hit us up on Twitter. For myself, it's at Mike Loris. And I believe you are at Jenkins Dota?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I totally did that research beforehand. Guys, follow AVGL at AVGL_Dota2 as well. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.